Welcome back to Inside Politics. Many thanks for joining us. We do apologize for that brief interruption there. Let's see what we can do in the next 30 minutes or so. We have been discussing the results of the Kiambaa parliamentary by-election, Thursday's by-election, where UDA won the seat, its first parliamentary seat, beating the Jubilee candidate, Kariri Njama. That is, of course, John Njuguna Wanjiko, the UDA candidate, beating Kariri Njama by a very slim margin of 510 votes. That is what we've been trying to make sense of. In the Sunday Standard, the headline is Ruto's win a warning shot to Raila and Kalonzo. Should the DP ride on Hustler Nation to victory next year, as it did in Kiambaa? It would portend the permanent exit of the old guard like ODM and Wiper leaders from national politics. That is what the Standard team there is talking about. I want us to go back on this, and of course this is happening even as the presidential hopefuls continue to flock central Kenya, jostling for a piece of the pie that is the central Kenya voting bloc. My panelists, let me reintroduce them again. I have with me political analyst Dennis Ndumbi, political editor at the Standard, Roslyn Obala, political strategist and lawyer Kipchumba Karori. Now joining us is political risk analyst Dismas Mokwa. Dismas, we haven't had your views on this. Give us your view very quickly on the Kiambaa by-election.
Well, this is a very interesting subject, and my panelists have made have committed serious fallacies and errors. Number one, UDA cannot be said to be a political party which is 6 years old. UDA is
6 months old.
Yeah, 6 months old, sorry. UDA is as old as Dr. William Samoei Ruto, because political parties in Kenya are anchored on strong political personalities. If William Samoei Ruto today decided to support KANU or any other political party, his voters who are largely irrational and emotional will go the same way. If Raila Odinga did the same, his voters who are largely emotional and irrational will go the same way. So we shouldn't say that a political party is going to be successful based on registration by the registrar of political parties. No, it's the personalities behind it. Number two, Kiambaa confirms two things. There are voters in parts of Kenya have said no to the handshake. And the moment President Kenyatta says that my brother and I, reference to Raila Odinga, a few voters move towards the camp of William Samoei Ruto. So that was a very good opinion polls, which was very raw and scientific, and it confirms that. Then number two, yeah, you confused me now. Yeah, so then there's now another confirmation that in fact the TNA and URP, the voter base has not been growing in any way. Because when you look at 2017 and what is happening today, the deputy president is struggling to maintain the TNA vote as it was and URP vote as it was. Because when you look at the history of the by-elections, most of the by-elections which have taken place in the traditional TNA and URP zones, the UDA has won, or people allied to the DP have won.
Right.
But when you go to Machakos, when you go to Kabuchai, when you go to Matungu, it's not done as much. But again, as we said last Sunday...
But they've got some traction, haven't they?
Of course, they did. But you remember what we said last Sunday? That if we're in a serious democracy like Israel, and President Kenyatta loses Kiambaa, then Kenya would be turning upside down today. But it doesn't matter, because when you look at UDA, you look at Jubilee, TNA, URP, it's got two common shareholders, President Kenyatta and his deputy. So really it matters not. It's like if in a business, if you're running a holding company, and then you've got multiple subsidiaries and associates competing. So there can be a lot of competition, because what was happening here was Jubilee A, Jubilee B, and Jubilee C competing, which confirms one thing, that in fact, William Samoei Ruto is Kenyatta's candidate. And President Kenyatta has created a very good environment to suffocate Jubilee, to dismember Jubilee, so that now UDA comes up. So for this vote in Kiambaa, it's really a protest vote, which introduces a paradox among the Kenyan politicians. Because for the last 10 years, Kenya has been run by two gentlemen, William Samoei Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta. And now the voters say that these are protest votes, because we don't like the way the economy has been managed. But who has been managing the Kenyan economy? It's President Kenyatta and his deputy.
Okay. You've introduced a very good paradox here. Let me come to Kipchumba. It has been Jubilee versus Jubilee. Some people have argued that Kiambaa has been Jubilee versus Jubilee. Let's move this forward now. In 2013 and 2017, the president and deputy president's success came from their two combined political forces. There are people who are saying that Ruto got success in Central Kenya because of the overwhelming nature in which the people of Central Kenya voted for him and the president. But if that is split into two, what does that mean for 2022?
I think it will be a political misjudgment to rate William Ruto on performance of Kawanjiku, who is the same age as UDA in politics. Kawanjiku was politically unknown before he got the ticket of UDA. So to compare what he got and what William Ruto will have gotten is also not to do service to our viewers. The point is this that we are making, Ben, that if an election was called, what we need to ask ourselves is, what did Jubilee do wrong, or what does Jubilee continue doing wrong that makes them become endemic to voters? You know, in the last 7 by-elections that have been held in Central Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta has managed only 2 civic wards, the one in Hell's Gate ward and Muguga. And the question that must be asked is one that which we as a people must ask. We are taxpayers, Ben. We sustain Jubilee with our money.
Right.
What do they do with the money that the party is retrogressing instead of going forward? Because a party that has 187 elected members of parliament across 40 counties, or is it 42, cannot be reduced overnight within 48 months to a party that cannot win a parliamentary seat anywhere in the republic. That is a discussion that also goes back to ask, when this party was left to the caliphate, what happened to the party? And now, the hemorrhaging of the party. You have seen what Kanini Kega is saying. He's saying that if your name is not in this wall, you are supposed to leave the party. The same mentality. And even when they were asking for votes in Kiambaa, it is either you are voting for this Karirinjama because of Uhuru. It was not about what they presented, what Karirinjama presented to the voters. Mm-hmm. And give it to the UDA candidate, and there was another independent candidate who tried to explain what they wanted to do to the people. But when the other side, it was about force. So I think what we learn in the by-election in Kiambaa is that going to the future, Kenyans will discuss more about issues. Kenyans will discuss not personalities, because the people who brought personalities lost the election. You saw at some point, I even asked somebody, the poster of Uhuru Kenyatta was bigger than that of Karirinjama in some truck. There was a whole bind of a truck which had Uhuru Kenyatta poster. And I was asking, why will a president be seeking reassurance? It's like myself going to my mother with a poster seeking reassurance. Kiambaa County is Uhuru Kenyatta's bastion. You cannot go there and reassure yourself. That is just the point. Right. But going to the future, what does the future hold after Kiambaa? The future holds 2 things. One is that the country has moved from discussing very petty things. We are at least moving towards discussing economy, something else. And I am happy Raila Odinga has joined the bandwagon. Mudavadi is there with the Uchumi Bora. It is a good thing, Ben. Okay. Number 2, what we move forward knowing is that BBI is not what we were sold to be. We had peaceful elections in Kiambaa with a small scuffles here and there without BBI. What we need, Ben, for a free and fair election in this country is just remove the small violence, and which is largely state instigated. Remove it. IBC has capacity to conduct free and fair elections. And going to the future, technology will end rigging in this country.
All right. Fair point. Fair point.
He's made a very interesting point that it must be addressed head-on. The Kenyan politics is going to be anchored by powerful political personalities. Issues will just come to marinate the conversation. So that if you're going for an election... And
so you disagree?
I'm disagreeing. No. I mean, if you're going to run on ideas, then we would have people coming up with a very solid...
Okay. Just a minute, Ben. If this thinking was allowed to subsist, does Dismas Mogua tell us Uhuru is not a powerful personality? And he has lost. Uhuru Kenyatta has reduced Jubilee to be an MCA party.
Now, the reason why Jubilee is bleeding...
Well, the by-election was still about personalities, wasn't it?
Well, the reason why
but
Jubilee...
Are you saying Uhuru Kenyatta is a small personality? Because that is what he implied.
Yeah, I'm going to address the point. The reason why Jubilee is bleeding is because a powerful political personality by the name President Kenyatta has decided to dismember the political party so that his deputy takes over.
Yes. Why do you think Jubilee is bleeding? What does this mean for Jubilee going to an election, 13 months to an election? We have seen some Jubilee members start calling for heads to roll. We've had names mentioned like the SG, Raphael Tuju, and the Vice Chairman, President Uhuru Kenyatta's blue-eyed boy, David Morade. Can these heads really roll? Or do you think that is what ails this party in the first place?
I think, Ben, we are also not looking at the dynamics that play in a by-election. If you look at the results that we had in 2017 or 2013, and if you look at the Kenyan politics, there are always scenarios that make people either align to a particular party or not. Because the truth is, our political parties are briefcase parties that are only used during elections. Now, if you look at 2013, there was a narrative of the ICC versus the narrative of Mao and the rest, pitting each other. Now, when it came to 2017, the re-election of President Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto was based on the Big Four agenda. And the NASA narrative was now taking over from what Jubilee had done, the misses of Jubilee in 2013 to 2017. Now, here is a case where Jubilee party collapsed almost 11 parties to make it a big party. Now, when you go to the by-election, we are finding that the two gentlemen who brought everybody together are at loggerheads. So that brings that division, that there are those who are still loyal to the deputy president, and there are also those who are loyal to the president. If you remember the deputy president saying the other day that when people woke up at 3 a.m. in the morning to go and vote, it was a joint ticket. Now here is a case where we are going for a by-election where these two gentlemen are no longer seeing eye to eye. So the loyalty has also been split. So it will be very wrong for us to say that because of what Uhuru got and William got, we can actually determine that William will carry the day when it comes to 2022. Because even if you look at other by-elections that we've had in other regions, we have seen that there is the regional politics. If you go to Western Kenya, ANC was able to carry the day in Matungu. When we went to Bungoma, we saw Ford Kenya carrying Kabuchai. When we came to Machakos, we saw Wiper carrying the day. So as much as we want to talk about national politics, there is still the element of regional politics. Right. But now for UDA, they are struggling to have a national party. And William Ruto was very strategic that immediately after 2017, he began to make inroads in Central. And he's just trying to demonstrate that I wasn't waiting for an endorsement, or I wasn't waiting for somebody to open the door for me in Central Kenya for me to be able to win votes in Central. So for this by-election, I think for William Ruto, it was to show that even if I get 50%, even if I get 40%, but I have a following in Central Kenya, which is the president's actual bedroom, because we have seen two by-elections in Kiambaa. Juja was just some kilometers to Gatundu South, and he lost. Now we are seeing again Kiambaa. The margin might be small, but it is a statement that we cannot erode. But now saying that because of this, William is having a sure bet for 2022, I think we are overreaching it.
All right. Dennis, yes. Top political pundits in this country have been saying that if Uhuru loses Kiambaa, then that will be the beginning of his lame duck presidency. Do you agree?
Ben, thank you. I would like to disagree with my colleague who came late and say that democracies are not run by personalities. In fact, even democracies are not run or authenticated by elections. They are run by ideologies. The ideas that precede elections is what dictates whether you are elected or not. But so looking at ideas, Raila has run on the premise or the platform of Tibim Tialala. No idea. Musalia Mudavadi, we don't know. Endorse me, endorse me. Kalonzo Musyoka, we don't know. William Ruto is the only thinking presidential candidate that we have. He has an ideology, and that is what permeated in Kiambaa. The president is outgoing. There's no contest between him and William Ruto. This is the contest of ideas. And I realize that the rest of the other candidates are trying to claw on the discussion of economics and microeconomics. You know, thereabout. So we cannot discuss retrogressively the gains we are making as a nation to benefit the lowly person who has never enjoyed prosperity. Even when our national anthem sings it, it is entrenched in the Constitution. No politician, ethnically or nationally, has ever positioned Masako or Jane or Atieno in the center of saying, we want you to enjoy your prosperity. So in the absence of thinking politicians, then you bring personalities on board. When you see some personalities that run, Raila has consistently lost. People call him a perennial loser at the end of the day when it comes to elections. Why has he lost? Because of the absence of ideologies. And I think we have to appreciate the process of thinking in politics, the process of entrenching an ideology at the end of the day, the process of looking at Article 43 of the Constitution and realizing that those are economic rights, the process of ensuring that Article 1 of the Constitution puts Wanjiku before anyone, her supremacy, her everything must come central to it. We must completely shy away from this discourse of positions and personalities. Those are politics that were left in 2009 that preceded 2010. So I disagree with my friend.
Are you saying what is ideal or what really happens?
No, I am saying what is happening now with the UDA. And I said before,
yes,
the Hustler Nation is a movement that is challenging traditional thinking or non-thinking whatsoever. The UDA is their vehicle to realize these economic gains. And you know, sort of for you to go to America and realize the American dream, you need to get a visa, you need to get on a plane, and you need to land in New York, New Jersey, whatever it is. Now, the hustlers have landed in that place that they are finally able to discuss the agrarian economy in Kiambaa, right. The peasants' revolution that we have seen that is being entrenched in the Hustler Nation.
All right.
There is something I need to say in closing. There's something I need to say in closing before he interrupts. Because at least now we have sparred thinking. There's going to be responses based on that. But this is what I want to say. This is what I want to say, my brother. Please.
Why are you insecure about your
No,
point?
I am not insecure. I'm just saying, you know, it's because we are here as analysts, so we have to discuss factually. Whether it is or it is not, we must take the country to where Wanjiku desires us to be. But honestly, all of us here don't belong to that political class that feels entitled. Why would we be jealous about the gains that Wanjiku has made? And nobody, a guy was selling Mutura, now he's called honorable, and he's going to realize certain agrarian dynamics economically to where he grew from.
Yes.
He grew from tending, by the way, he grew from tending the tea farms of the Koinanges and stuff of the sort. So you're looking at an employee who is now, quote unquote, going to be an employer.
Yeah.
That is a big gain in Kenya. We must stop bringing Raila, Mudavadi, Kalonzo in that conversation. Let us bring Wanjiku and make Wanjiku the center of this conversation, standing on the platform of Hustler Nation and discussing the bottom-up economics. That is what we desire. I want to be prosperous at the end of the day.
I want us to go.
I don't want Kalonzo to lead me there.
I want us to go. I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you. I want us to go to the conversation of Raila and Kalonzo. What this means. But I want to give you 30 seconds to respond to Dennis.
Dennis speaks English with an American accent, so that's where I'm going to begin my conversation. Yeah, but you know that's the accent. Now, at the beginning of this year, there was an insurrection in the U.S. because of Donald Trump, who is a powerful political personality. Joe Biden has run times above number and lost, but finally he won. Now, if you're talking about thinking politicians in Kenya, and you said that the only thinking politician in Kenya is Dr. William Samoei Ruto.
Absolutely.
Now, he's been the deputy president for the last 10 years.
Big Four was a thought process.
No, calm down. So he's been the deputy president for the last 10 years. Now, if that thinking has not converted to socio-economic security for Kenyans, then what value is that thinking? Him, according to the Constitution, is the principal assistant, principal deputy, principal everything to the President of the Republic of Kenya. Now, if it's been unable to deliver for those last 10 years, and then he's been thinking, how am I able to convince Mura that the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, in fact, is a thinking politician, the only thinking politician in Kenya, and yet the same as not reflected in the way we are managing COVID, as not reflected in the way we are managing the economy. Nobody is feeling it in our pocket. So, to try and say that he's the only thinking politician, that's a mistake. And then number two, when you talk about... you speak about these bottoms-up economics. Okay. Now, when did he enjoy this Damascus moment? You remember when he took office with his boss, they said we are going to engage in huge infrastructure projects. Most of them now have turned out to be white elephants, including the SGR. When did he get this Damascus moment so that all Kenyans can relate to it?
Let me provide a solution. Let me provide a solution.
10 seconds.
No, let me provide a solution. We can't move from the two gentlemen. The provision is this, Ben. Let us go back to what it matters. It matters not what position I have held before. When you are at a platform and the table is provided, it is for you to provide a future to the people. Mwai Kibaki.
But it is Kenyans asking.
Listen, I'm going there. I'm going there. You have asked me to show you the bedroom. I'm taking you there. One, Mwai Kibaki was a vice president of a man we are told he ran down the economy. Up to today, the best president that the country has had is Mwai Kibaki. Secondly, when Biden was the vice president of Obama, there are things they have not achieved. Look at what they have achieved now in terms of employment and universal health care. Are you saying... No.
Obama thing.
Cool down. Just cool down. Listen, now the question we need to ask Ben is, are you saying Biden was not thinking under the Obama administration that he did not think about the bottom up, middle out? Just a minute. The other point we need to make is
under the old constitution.
The other point we need to make is this, Ben.
Under the new constitution, these two gentlemen were on the presidential
allow
ticket.
me to finish. We cannot judge William Ruto. We cannot force William Ruto to come to the table and be judged with Uhuru Kenyatta when he has said himself time without number on radio station. Listen, I am addressing. Allow me to speak. Just let me finish. Let me finish. Now, these people shook hands. These people shook hands with Raila Odinga. Raila was brought in government. The next day we were told there was what is it called, Executive Order number 1, 2018. The functions that William Ruto performed were taken to Matiang'i. Ask those questions to Matiang'i.
That is just the last 3 years.
Not
that is
3.
just the last 3 years.
Yeah, you were...
But the president and deputy president are joined at the hip. True or false?
But Uhuru Kenyatta has dislocated the hip. You cannot ask that has been dislocated.
Let us look at Jubilee from the premise or prism of the Big Four agenda. That is a thought process. If you want to analyze the Big Four agenda, by the way, it was about creating jobs, integrating the 70 million who are jobless at the end of the day. Now, the president went to Central and said, Muchawi Muganga. You understand? And then the entry of the same was demonstrated, when the handshake happened, was demonstrated by the sudden death and demise of Jubilee.
All right.
So it is true that the thought process, at the point that Raila entered into government, the thought process of Jubilee died, stopped functioning, and they tried to elbow out the deputy president. For the last 5 years, surely, you can't attribute losses to the deputy president, but you can attribute gains. You know why? He was involved in the thought process and the projects thereabout.
Rosalind?
Yes.
You have to agree. Because
I don't agree with you because you see, when the two gentlemen went to the people in 2017, they presented the Big Four agenda. They were elected on the basis of implementing the Big Four agenda. Exactly. Now, currently, we have a deputy president who is in office. Whether he's in the fridge, as my Kitili says it or not, he's a deputy president who enjoys the trappings of power. There is no way the deputy president can run away from the ills of Jubilee and takes the positives of Jubilee. So whenever he's on the platform and says that this is my hustler narrative and this is a bottom-up approach, we must also ask him, in this your government, this is what you said you will do. What have you done? So as much as he's seeking to be elected the commander-in-chief, he must carry the ills of Jubilee with him.
What about Raila? He's in government.
Yeah, because it's the handshake. But if it's the handshake, you cannot say today that Raila is maybe the de facto prime minister or anything, because it is a handshake, yes.
But we have seen ministers updating him, going to...
He was in Ukambani the other
That
day.
is what we say.
He was in Mombasa
That is
saying
what,
we need to
no,
stop that
Wakili,
thing.
Wakili, that is what we say. We have not seen any cabinet secretary coming and reading a statement that today I was at Capitol Hill.
But
I went to
Njuri
brief
used to do that.
Raila Odinga.
Actually,
This is
listen,
what
Ben.
we are
Right, no,
Ben,
time is up.
Ben, just a minute,
I
a
think
second.
we are
What we
rationalizing
need to say is,
it.
Ben,
No.
And it is not fair.
what we need to say and what the viewers should take home is one. Deputy President and the President are joined in the hip. The
They
law
are.
is there.
They are.
But Uhuru Kenyatta, through the misuse, the other things,
Yes.
misconstitutional
Yes.
ways,
There was a disjoint.
he has disjointed that hip
Ideologically.
and
We are-
brought
we are-
Raila
we are out of
Odinga to
time.
the
We
hip.
are out of time,
Ideologically.
but I want to give you guys 30 seconds each for your final thoughts. Strictly 30 seconds.
We must discuss progressive politics from an ideological perspective. And we must own and make permanent the ideology of bottom-up economics, the one that seeks to empower the common man and pushes the common man to prosperity at the end of the day. And we must shy away from the politics
You're
of
going to 40
Tibin
seconds
Etiala.
now. Rosalind.
Ben, for me, I think our leaders should focus on issues. Our politics in the past have not been issues, and they have been about personalities. As we go forward, can we focus on issues so that we also empower the future leaders to see that you can actually rise and become leaders of this country, not based on who you are aligned to, but what you're going to do.
Thank you. Bwana Wakili.
Yeah.
Two things. I am waiting for Kalonzo Musyoka to tell us what he stands for. We have seen Raila discussing economy, Musalia economy, William Ruto economy. Bwana Kalonzo Musyoka, wherever you are, welcome to the discussion. Number two, and the final point, ODM lost the best chance to measure whether handshake has helped them politically or not. They ought to have fielded a candidate in Kiambaa. The discussion they're explaining to us of the percentage, this one, the percentage there,
Right.
they had a chance to field a candidate. They cowed out.
Thank you. Dismas, 30 seconds.
Yeah, we must use history to judge our leaders' future. So if you're the deputy president of Kenya and you say that you've been dislocated or in your fridge, you're not able to deliver, then why are you still the vice president or, sorry, deputy president? Why can't you resign? Raila Odinga has done it before. Kibaki has done it before. When he was not able to deliver, he said it was nice doing business. He went home. Then secondly, the deputy president has made very good gains in Central Province.
All right.
That in fact, his candidates could even get one vote in, that neighborhood was important. But as he moves forward, he's going to meet very powerful politicians, somebody like Mr. Jimmy Wanjigi and others who are going to be a very strong ground.
Thank you.
Raila remains the only formidable opponent of William Ruto.
This was more political risk analyst, lawyer and political strategist Kipchumba Karori, and political editor at The Standard, Rosalind Obala, and political analyst Dennis Ndumbi. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me. Shall we leave it on Inside Politics this Sunday? Many thanks for joining us. Be sure to be with us every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. here on Inside Politics as we dissect and try to make sense of the biggest political and policy issues in the Republic. I am Ben Kitili. Don't go too far. Weekend at 1 is up next.